Alright guys, how are you? I hope you're doing great. So I am doing this HEMA mode introduction for the Hellish Quart game because we have so many new players in the community, and I believe it's really important for you to know about it and also potentially have fun with it and compete in tournaments. So first of all, I am Venator. I am a tournament organizer here in Hellish Quart. I've organized many tournaments, including normal tournaments, so sharp sword tournaments, and also HEMA tournaments, which are actually my main type of tournaments. The HEMA mode is basically a training mode in the game. It's a point-based type of mode that tries to simulate real life HEMA competitions. Of course, it's not exactly the same, but it's still a pretty immersive mode in my opinion, and it can be quite fun. First of all, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction about what happened last year. So we had the first season of HEMA. We had 5 tournaments, and after that, all the players who got on the first, second, and third place, so basically got a medal in those tournaments, participated to the Champions Tournament for some cash and also obviously for bragging rights for being the ultimate HEMA mode champion. That tournament was won by Ilxus, who was one of the best players in our community, and a lot of people enjoy the mode and still enjoy the mode. So I thought it's a good idea for you to know about it and see how it works. So um, today I'm just gonna go ahead through the mode a little bit, give you a little bit of an explanation, tell you how the tournaments work, and also have a look at the characters and see if you guys are interested in something like this. I think it's pretty beneficial for you because um, you may sign up for the tournament and you don't know what to expect because there are a couple of things that are quite different from the normal mode. So in some cases, it can really change your experience for the better or for the worse. So let's go ahead and first of all find out where we can find the mode. So the mode is not actually in fight like the other ones, it's in training. So you go in training and then you have practice versus player, standing opponent, and so on. I'm gonna choose standing opponent this time. Gonna go normal and gonna go with HEMA. So not sharp, not wooden, not synthetic, HEMA. As soon as you go in here, you can see that each character um, has HEMA gear on it, which is awesome because it can really be immersive. So I believe Kalkstein has the best one. It looks absolutely amazing. Hopefully in the future we will get the opportunity to customize. But I believe, since it's a game about physics and so on, it's a little bit harder um, to do that. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna get this for the future. We have Barabash in here, Jacek. Uh, Samuel also got recently a gear, but it looks exactly like Jacek's, which is fine. Gideon has a really nice gear as well. Isabella, it could have been better, but I like it. Um, Martha and Marie's gear look really nice. They look like I hope I'm not saying something stupid, but I think they look like Olympic fencers. Then you have Laszlo, Alexander, so they both have the red dragon one, just like Jacek. And then you also have Father Gera, who has a combination. So it's with many characters, basically a combination of gear. These are real life HEMA gear, so if you're interested, you can visit their websites and acquire some of them. Yeah. So as you can see, we have the gear. So let's go ahead and pick. Let's go ahead and pick Kalkstein. Because he has the drip. Yeah. And I don't know. Let's go with Barabash as the opponent. Okay. The map that we use for tournaments is always going to be gym. So first of all, because of immersion, obviously, and second, because it's actually a pretty good map. It has boundaries. Um, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best competitive maps in the game because it's not claustrophobic. So let's go ahead and yeah, it's not claustrophobic, so you can just move around. You have enough space, you know, to play defensively if you want, or retreat, or and you also have corners. You know, you can retreat to the corner and you can attack. Yeah. So as you can see, the map is great. Okay, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go back because in standing mode we don't actually have uh, the actual point system. So let me go ahead and maybe should I put practice versus player? Yeah. Okay. Let's go with I don't know. Let's go with Jacek here. All right. Okay. So this is the actual mode that we play in the game, and as you can see, it says 0 of 30. So we play up to 30 points. And now you may think, oh, that's a lot of points. It's gonna take long. Actually, it roughly takes the same amount of time as a 7 flag matchup in the normal mode. Obviously, it can take more than that, but here's the difference. The difference is that in here, so let me go ahead and score a point. In here, the screen does not reset. So I just score a point. There's a short winning animation, and then we're good to go again. And then I score another one, and I'm back. Yeah, so I'm back in here. So that is probably the best thing about this mode is the fluidity. So you can play, you know, many points without interrupting the game too much. So the pace is a lot better. For example, in normal mode, even though it's understandable, you score a point and then, you know, sometimes you have to wait for the animation if you want to, or you can just, but it's always that screen that that resets everything. So I'm not saying that's not great, but in here it's a little bit more fluid. Also, this is just my own personal impression. This particular mode seems a little bit faster, as you can see. So Jacek is actually really fast in here, and he's really not the same in the normal mode. He is fast, but he's not as fast. Okay. And why there's another reason we play up to 30 is because in here doubles count, which means that if I score a point and my opponent also scores an afterblow, we both get a point. Well, it's a little bit controversial for some because some people don't really like that feature. Some people do. I personally do. I like it more to have like 1 point each than just reset the point itself. And a lot of people that play the mode for the first time would say, oh, but I can just go back and just fish for doubles when I'm in advantage. Well, that doesn't work. That really doesn't work. We've tried this at the highest levels with many good players, and you just can't. I mean, of course, you may get one, you may get two, but it doesn't work. That strategy simply doesn't work. Maybe it will work 1 time or 2 times, but at the highest level, if you want to win tournaments, it's not going to work. Trust me. Because the players are so good at adapting that you just can't focus on landing after blows after them. Of course, there are some characters that can do that more effectively. For example, Alex is very good at landing after blows. So, yeah. that could be a little bit of an issue. But another reason we play up to 30 points is because it gives you a lot of time to adjust. Some accuracy issues there. It gives you some time to adjust to everything. And for example, we've seen so many matches where people were like 10 points behind and then came back and won. It also gives you the opportunity to use a lot of strikes that you wouldn't really use normally in the normal mode, because they leave you exposed, they leave you open. But in here, you can take the chance, you can risk, you can go, for example, with a leg swipe. Yeah, or you can do this move that you don't really do in normal mode. Or, wait, this one as well. Yeah. So it gives you the opportunity to try many moves. And another very important thing about this mode is that the way damage is registered is a little bit different from the normal mode. So in the normal mode, you have to incapacitate your opponent, which means that you have to either cut his hand or injure him to the face. A very good leg swipe, so you know, like a very hard blow. In this mode, you can actually score with attacks that don't kill in the normal mode. So one that comes to mind is this move from Jacek. So in the normal mode, it doesn't kill. It produces a wound, a stun, but it doesn't really kill. I mean, probably maybe with the opponent's movement, it can produce enough impact in order to kill, but it usually doesn't. But in this mode, if you land a good attack like this, yeah, there you go. If you land an attack like that, it will score. It will score. Obviously, there are some issues with that. For example, Marta and Marie, and even Kalkstein have some issues because the way the damage registers for them is a little bit different than other characters. And sometimes you may think you scored, but you actually didn't. We still haven't figured out what's exactly the reason for that, but we may think that it's some sort of rounding up the damage, which means like if the blow is serious enough, it can score, but if it's not producing enough damage, then it will not score. So yeah, sometimes it will be a little bit inconsistent, because also the HEMA mode works on the damage that you're dealing with the attack. What I'm trying to say by that is that sometimes you may hit your opponent, but you won't score. Yeah, because the damage that you produced was not enough. So in that regard, it's not exactly a representation of HEMA. It's more about, you know, it's kind of the normal mode in, you know, with points. Barabash here doesn't want to let me score. Some attacks. There you go. Okay. And probably the most important thing right now about this mode is that there is a bug. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen as often as usual, but it happened a lot in the past. Is when you score a point, sometimes instead of this animation, you can go again, and in that sequence, your opponent is still stunned after the other one. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you can score an attack when the opponent is recovering from the previous point, which is not great. There's a very simple counter to that, and high-level players are already doing this, which is after scoring a point, you just simply back away and give the opponent the chance to recover. There's another way to recognize that. As you can see in the center of the map, we have some lights. There's a green light and a red light. They're visible from almost everywhere, as you can see, no matter where I'm moving. And when you score, the lights will go red, green, or both if it's a double. So let's go ahead and score. As you can see, red. Yeah? And as soon as the light goes off, you can fight again. It's okay. It takes a little while to get used to that, but it's perfectly fine. It's not something to worry too much about. Yeah. So that's one of the things. And now let's go ahead and let me play a game against the AI. I might get my ass kicked here because the AI is actually pretty good. So you can see how the HEMA mode works. So just give me 1 second here. Okay. Let's go to training. Let's go to practice versus CPU. We go to HEMA. Okay. Let's pick. Who do we pick? Let's pick. Um, let's pick Jacek. And let's fight Barabasz. Okay, let's put it on aggressive so we can have a little bit of a challenge. And during the game, I would like you to observe how the pace is and how the after blows work. Yeah, so as you can see, Barabasz scored there. Yeah, there's a good example. So his first attack was not damaging enough, and then he scored again. And here we go. Yeah, and that's a double. See, we both scored. The lights both went red and green. Here's the attack that I was telling you about, that in normal mode it doesn't kill, but in here it scores. So you have the opportunity to score with attacks that you won't really score in normal mode. So that's why I find HEMA so interesting, because it makes many attacks actually viable in this particular mode. Yeah, here's the leg swipe here. Doesn't usually kill in the normal mode. And it's quite natural, because in the normal mode you just want to land one blow and kill. You don't particularly want to land a superficial blow and then build up on that damage. That's not really a strategy that works really well. But in here, the variety attacks works really well. And with that being said, it actually creates a different experience, because some characters are better in HEMA or worse than they are in the normal mode. So the core of the game is the same, but the experience is pretty different. Yeah, so there you go again. The AI is really good at punishing whiffs, so if you play against the AI, get ready to be frustrated. Of course, you can cheese the AI if you want, but if you're trying to train, here you go. Yeah, notice the lights, that you can see them from anywhere. So if I move, they're right in there in the center. If I move here, I can see them. So I can always see the lights. Yeah, and as you can see, it's very, very dynamic. Move around. There you go, and we're back in the action. So that's actually the #1 reason why I particularly like this mode, is because of the fluidity of it. You can just play more, try more attacks. We don't really have too many attacks in HEMA that don't score if they're placed right. Which unfortunately doesn't really happen in the normal mode. because you get a lot of superficial wounds, and then you get the stun. Um, the stun reaction. I'm not saying that HEMA mode is better than the normal mode. What I'm saying is that is different, and it can definitely be very fun to play. And that's why we had some tournaments, very successful tournaments. I would say that in HEMA mode the skill level actually checks, because we had basically the same people who are very good in the normal mode winning also in the HEMA mode, so it doesn't really change too much the dynamic of skill. Here we go, not a double. And I would say I'm not sure if it's the map or the mode itself, but it feels. Oh, come on, Barabasz. It definitely feels faster. So with the fact that you don't have to reset and also being faster, it makes it a very enjoyable experience. Even if this is maybe not your thing, it can definitely be very good for training, because you get to practice a lot of moves. That's how I particularly improved my game. I played a lot of this HEMA mode where I checked a lot of the characters' movesets. And basically in, like, let's say 1 hour of sparring, I did a lot more than I would do in a normal hour of sparring. So it's definitely a very good training method, especially when you're training new characters. Yeah, and as you can see, you have a very dynamic score line, also because of the doubles and everything. We've had so many games that ended 29-29. We even had 30-30 once or twice. Okay, and Barabasz is here 1 point away from winning here the match with Jacek. 29-29. See, you can get some very interesting. And I won. Yeah, a very hard match. 30-29. And yeah, the way they work, I want to show you a little bit of Isabella as well. Let's put her against, I don't know, Laszlo, maybe. In this mode, Isabella is a little bit more usable than in the normal mode, where she's having some issues at the moment. Yeah, you can go with some nice thrusts and so on. Yeah, see, in here it still breaks. She can break the block, which is great. And the thrusts work a lot better, which is good. Which is good if you're an Isabella player. Yeah, this particular attack as well, unfortunately, the normal mode is not working great right now, but in here it does. Here we go. Yeah, and this particular thrust, unfortunately, in normal mode, it really doesn't work right now. But it works in here, so as an Isabella main, I'm happy about that. But anyway, I didn't want to talk necessarily about her. I wanted to show you, you know, how fast, how dynamic can the mode be. You can try so many attacks that you don't necessarily try in the normal mode because it's, you know, very stressful to do so. You can play around with guards. You can play with thrusts. And do moves like that that don't, you know, they get punished easily. Of course, you can still get punished in here as well. Beautiful thrusts working as they should. Alright, so that's pretty much it about the HEMA mode. I know that most of you are probably busy at this time. I'm doing it live, but feel free to watch the video and ask me any questions you have about the mode. I don't claim to be an expert about it. I haven't studied everything about it. But those are the basics that you need to know for tournaments. And go ahead, give it a try. It's really fun, in my opinion. I particularly enjoy it really... I particularly enjoy it a lot because of the fluidity of it. And the fact that I can just play without being too stressed about getting killed. I can try moves. Yeah. So, if you enjoy this type of maybe point system, fluid, fast-paced type of game, then the HEMA mode is definitely your go. Oh, yeah, so see, that was a moment there where the thrust landed, but it wasn't great. It didn't do enough damage, but then it did. So that's why the way damage is registered here in the HEMA mode is a little bit different. So sometimes you may get some situations where it doesn't look great. Catching the hand there. Yeah, this went a lot better than Jacek versus Barabasz. Getting countered there. Yeah, so as you can see, very fast, very fluid. You have just like a short twinning animation after the point, and then you're back to go. That gives you the opportunity to just try so many attacks, like this particular combo that I like so much, but I don't really use it in normal mode because it's so risky to do. But in here you can try as many things as possible. So go ahead and let me know. You can leave a comment in YouTube. You can ask me directly in Discord, or you can ask other players because we have the likes of Subutai, the likes of Ilksus, Maestro, and a lot of people who played in almost every tournament we had about HEMA. So go ahead and give it a try. I'm sure some of you will really enjoy it, especially those of you who maybe practice HEMA in real life. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next HEMA season. I'll post all the details in an announcement. And it's a good idea to have a look at this video before actually competing in tournaments, so you can get the idea. One last thing that I want to say before going off is that these HEMA tournaments can actually be very competitive. Given the fact that you have to play till 30 points, it's a lot more difficult to beat a skilled player than in the normal mode, I would say. I mean, obviously, it's hard in both, but in here, given the fact that you have to score 30 times against a very good player, it makes it a lot more difficult to beat someone that is, let's say, more experienced than you. Not impossible, of course, but in this particular mode, experience is very, very important. So thank you very much for those who watched or will watch this video. I hope I was thorough enough with the explanations and showcasing the mode. As I said, feel free to ask any questions. I'll see you guys at my next tournaments, which will be streamed here on this channel. So have a good day. I hope you're gonna have a great new year.